Hey everybody, it's Ray, and for this video we're going to be starting a series. We are going to be confronting Robin DiAngelo's best-selling book, White Fragility. Now, White Fragility is the Bible for the social justice gospel. It's one of their canon books. And for apologetics purposes, we need to be aware of what's in this book, because this book is going to be pushed onto churches. In fact, it already is being pushed within the church. So, and this is why I've read the book, because it was being pushed in church. And me and my wife, we've actually made a lot of notes. So, what we're going to do is we're going to guide you through the book, show you the arguments that are being made, show you the fallacies that are abundant, and we are going to point this back to the Word of God, hopefully. So this is a best-selling book, but despite that, it's a really awful book. It's not particularly well written, and I'll get to a lot of the fallacies of what Robin DiAngelo is saying. So this is just kind of like an introduction to a series of videos I'll be doing. So this is the cover here, White Fragility. And so there are about 12 chapters, and we're also going to cover the introduction separately. So this is just an introduction to a series of videos, but I do want to take you through the author's note during this time. So the author's note is a thesis for her defense of the use of identity politics. So she tries to say that identity politics was rooted from the very beginning and that it's unavoidable. Basically, her argument here. So let's look at our notes. So you see here, she's celebrating a lot of accomplishments. One of them is recognizing homosexual marriage. So already we're confronted with a very unchristian book, yet is being pushed within the church. And here's the thesis for this section. This book is unapologetically rooted in identity politics. So that is what we're dealing with, and this is just the author's note. This isn't we're not even on page 1 or the introduction. So she's just kind of explaining what she is about. I am about using my insider status to challenge racism. To not use my position in this way is to uphold racism. So she kind of paints it as a one or the other. You are either an ally or an adversary. Or I don't know what the woke word for this is called. And then she goes on to say, I would never suggest that mine is the only voice that should be heard. But you'll see that throughout this entire book, she views herself and her knowledge as superior to anyone else's, especially if you're white. So, if you're white and you have something to say about, experiencing racism or prejudice, she doesn't want to really hear from you. She doesn't really think that you've experienced anything beyond trivial. And you'll see that in a later section. And then she tries to say, hey, you know, if you're black, you'll still like this book. It'll help you understand white people, I guess. And let's see. Oh, okay. I guess she has a section here to explain, you know, if you're biracial or multiracial. Kind of an important quote right here. Though I believe, for reasons explained in Chapter 1, that temporarily suspending individuality to focus on group identity is healthy for white people. So she's basically setting up in the author's note here that she is going to deny individualism. And you'll notice that because this is a very Marxist book. She does not believe in individualism at all, or meritocracy, for that matter. Well, we'll get to that in a later section. Let's see. It's worth noting that though the term passing refers to the ability to blend as a white person, there is no corresponding term for the ability to pass as a person of color. This highlights the fact in a racist society, the desired direction is always towards whiteness and away from being perceived as a person of color. Now, she probably has never heard of a hood pass. Just gotta leave that right there, because this is just kind of like the beginning of, there's a lot she doesn't know about culture in general, despite being a sociologist. And here we go. I am white, but I'm also a cisgendered woman. So she's using made-up language to say that she's a normal white woman. Able-bodied, meaning she's not disabled. She's really piling up her identities here. Conspicuously absent religion. So that is the beginning of this little run-through. I just want to introduce you all to this series that I'm going to be conducting, because this issue is not going away. This book is it is being used as a canon for a foreign religion to subvert the gospel and the church. So I think in reading it, as we would read the Quran, we can better defend the faith. That's what I did. I didn't want to completely rule out this book, even though it is exactly what it sounds like. It is as racist as it sounds. The book is perhaps cartoonishly dumb. So I thought this book would be a little more, I don't want to say nuanced. I did think the book would be more smarter. Like, it's not a smart book. It's just argumentatively challenged. So we'll get to that in later episodes in this series. This is just a, you know, like I said, I wanted to take the time to explain what I'm doing here. I am not caving to the social justice gospel. I am confronting one of their greatest and most mainstream works of literature, and that is White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. Now, apparently this book is having trouble staying on the shelves. It's being pushed by all the wrong people, which means you know that it is as it is. You know it's what, if all the wrong people are endorsing this book, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If all the wrong people are endorsing this book, that's a bad sign. So we kind of need to know what's in this book. So I'm going to walk you through what's in this book. And, you know, we'll just go through it together. So until next time, my name's Ray. And this is the Evangelical Dark Web on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, comment below. Tell me what you think. Let me know if you've read the book. And, you know, if you want to, like, pause, come back later while you get the book so we can, like, go along this together, that's fine. But we'll be going through the whole book. Alright. Have a blessed day.